Hello everyone, welcome to my Evil Within, Akumu difficulty, no upgrades / keys walkthrough, and this is Chapter 8, A Planted Seed Will Grow. And this is the shortest and easiest chapter in this game. And it still amazes me to this day how short this chapter is. I was able to get this chapter done in about 6 minutes, and I decided to edit out all the moments where I'm having to open doors and I'm having to cross through those narrow gaps, just to make the video a little bit more shorter. And a little bit more is significantly more, because it's now 4 minutes and 27 seconds for this video. But this first room is definitely the hardest part of Chapter 8. So what I do is I lure those alter egos away, and then I shoot out the bottom board, and I stomp that guy's head. That way, those guys can't follow me. And then I use the shotgun on this first guy who comes after me. If both of them decide to come after you, you're gonna have to use your shotgun on both of them. And he's dead. I'm gonna use a match on the second enemy. The alter egos on this chapter have a new ability where they can use a parasite that comes out of their stomach to attack you, and it's an instant kill if it grabs you. But because of the fact that it's the very first move they always do, and it takes them quite a while to use the move, it gives me plenty of time to use a match on that one enemy. And another good thing as well is that the match completely cancels the attack animation, so the parasite just goes back inside of the stomach. And if they decide to suicide you, they'll be dead before they even have a chance to attack you with that parasite. You can also shoot the parasite itself, but it doesn't do any increased damage. It just causes the parasite to go away faster than usual, which is kind of disappointing, even though it doesn't really make that much of a difference, considering this chapter is already easy enough as it is. But still, though, it would be pretty cool to instantly kill that enemy by shooting that parasite, because I feel like it would just reward accuracy, and it would just feel like the kind of thing Shinji Mikami would do, but he just chose not to implement it, so what can you do? It doesn't really matter. But we're being introduced to a new enemy type, which are the little alter egos. These enemies are popcorn enemies. They will die in one hit from the flash bolts. Similar to how in Resident Evil 4, when you had any parasites emerging from the head of Ganado, you could use flash grenades to kill those enemies, because they were very weak to sunlight. And the flash grenades emitted a light spectrum similar to sunlight, which was one of the best design choices ever in Resident Evil 4. I don't know a single game where flash grenades can kill enemies, and the fact that it made a cameo appearance in this game is really nice. It's a nice homage to Resident Evil 4. But these are the final enemies. This one alter ego is pretty dangerous. This guy isn't so much of a problem, although if you accidentally run into him, he will grab you and you will die. You are not safe when you are inside this animation. The alter ego can actually grab you using the parasite, and I nearly get grabbed right here. Watch this. That was very close, but thankfully, by the time I got into this gap, I was already quite a distance away from the alter ego, so it didn't gain enough momentum to catch up to me. And that is the end of Chapter 8, pretty much. All there is just a puzzle, which just solves itself, because it's a 50-50 puzzle. And because of the fact that it's a 50-50 puzzle, I guess the developers decided to just solve the puzzle for you. Because obviously you don't want to put the side that has blood on it, because that's the side that failed. Because that person's blood splattered onto the plate when he died. So if you can't understand the logic of such a puzzle, then something is really wrong with you. But there we go. We now have access to the next area of Chapter 8. And there's one final sequence we have to do for Chapter 8 before the chapter ends, and that is this running sequence with the Amalgam Alpha. The Amalgam Alpha is a boss you're going to be fighting later on in Chapter 10, and it's a really fun boss fight. It's one of the best boss fights ever made in survival horror history. But you have unlimited sprint during this moment, and when you slow down, you're going to have to readjust yourself. Make sure you're centered with the hallway, and that is the end of this running sequence, and that is the end of Chapter 8. Stay tuned for the future chapters. Thank you all for watching, and you take care now.